Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuansheng Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 126 381 Li Weiyi's Full Strength. 126th of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Li Weiyi's heart sank as he met Luansheng Linyu's indifferent gaze. He couldn't gauge how much Long Shangsen meant to him. It can't be that he came here for me, can it? Weren't you investigating me? Of course I had to come, Luansheng Linyu replied. Li Weiyi's mind raced. He realized his actions over the past month hadn't gone unnoticed. This man was indeed exceptionally sharp. Maintaining a calm facade, Li Weiyi feigned ignorance. You sent 30 undead powerhouses to fuse their souls with 30 Dao Seed Realm martial mystic cultivators from the Imperial Court. What were you planning? Luansheng Linyu couldn't possibly know that Li Weiyi was already aware of their core secret, their plan to attack Lingxiao City. After all, the interrogation results obtained from Hidden One showed that even Sikong Jingyuan was only carrying out a partial mission and remained completely in the dark about the details. Luansheng Linyu said, since you're already a dead man, there's no harm in telling you. This year's Shangyuan festival, the show continues. At that time, the Demon Clan's army will crush the Western Sea slaves and the Zhu clan in one fell swoop, seizing the entire Western territory. Li Weiyi knew he was being tested and that Luansheng Linyu wasn't telling the truth. His expression suddenly darkened. You intend to sow chaos in Lingxiao City to distract the Imperial Court. Was the Ghost Infant incident also your doing? Luansheng Linyu had been observing Li Weiyi's reaction. Well. Boom. The rear of the carriage was struck with tremendous force. The entire carriage was lifted into the air by a powerful force, soaring dozens of meters high. Li Weiyi's psychic power detected the figure charging from behind. But the figure moved too fast, its cultivation terrifyingly high, far surpassing his own. Before he could react, the carriage had already been sent flying. Whoosh! Li Weiyi struggled to maintain his balance, activating the formation within the carriage. The formation plate expanded outward. 7 dragons emerged from the plate, their heads solid, their bodies composed of flames, and their claws crackling with lightning. The 7 dragons snaked through the air, attacking Luansheng Linyu, the dead spirit powerhouse wielding the yin banner, and Song Muchuan, who had just charged from behind. The dead spirit powerhouse swung its yin banner, as if stirring up the winds and clouds of heaven and earth, and swallowed all 7 dragons whole. The power and cultivation it displayed were no less than that of Chen Huang and Cao Shisen at the Jiazi birthday banquet. Today, I win. Luansheng Linyu transformed into a streak of starlight, appearing before the carriage door midair. His silver hair cascaded like a waterfall, his fingers morphed into sharp phoenix claws, and a chilling aura froze the carriage into a white ice cave, while scriptures enveloped Li Weiyi. In his eyes, there was only Li Weiyi. He didn't even glance at Long Shangsen. So eager to win, do you think you can? Li Weiyi's gaze was resolute. His entire arm ignited with flames as he pointed a finger, unleashing the Ember Annihilation finger technique. Martial mystic path and psychic power instantly merged. His finger struck the phoenix claw, erupting with power comparable to an imperial technique. Boom. Luansheng Linyu was sent flying backward, all the scriptures on his phoenix claw shattered. Li Weiyi looked down and saw nothing but emptiness. Long Shangsen had been whisked away by a wisp of yin mist, appearing beside the dead spirit powerhouse holding the banner. The body-fixing talisman on her brow dissolved, and a torrent of spiritual chi erupted from her graceful form, spreading like white silk ribbons throughout the 100-yard-wide pocket dimension. Only then did the carriage crash to the ground with a thunderous roar. With a flash, Li Weiyi leapt out of the carriage. In the next instant, Tai Shiyu's carriage was split apart by Song Muchuan's sword, wood splinters flying everywhere. More than 100 feet away, Luansheng Linyu stabilized his retreat, staring at his bleeding palm in disbelief. An imperial technique. Your ancestral field was truly crippled. Li Weiyi was enveloped by the Dao heart manifestations of Luansheng Linyu, Long Shangsen, and Song Muchuan. His body felt as though bound by countless chains, or as if he were carrying 3 mountains on his back, making it difficult to breathe. Even if my ancestral field is crippled, I still have my wind mansion. With the seed Dao planted there, I can still be invincible under the same realm. Li Weiyi shrugged, then opened his wind mansion, releasing the myriad manifestation staff spear. Ow! Ow! Li Weiyi released his Dao heart manifestation, transforming the surrounding 100 meters into a fiery domain. 7 clawed flame heavenly dragons soared in all directions, their movements constrained by the Dao heart manifestations of the other 3. Yet, Li Weiyi managed to carve out a domain of his own. Long Shangsen's beautiful eyes widened in astonishment. 7 clawed heavenly dragon. The legendary 7 clawed heavenly dragon. How could she not be shocked? Luansheng Linyu's Dao heart manifestation was merely a 6 clawed immortal dragon. The ancient heavenly emperor's flying dragon possessed only 5 claws. Transcendent dragons had only 4 claws. Immortal realm dragons and pythons had only 2 claws. Yet here stood an inferior root Dao seed realm martial mystic cultivator, whose Dao heart manifestation was even more extraordinary than that of the young celestial emperors, who possessed dragon clan blood. The 6-clawed immortal dragon Dao heart manifestation had previously caused quite a stir in the Lingxiao realm. Song Muchuan, wielding the slave horse cleaver, let out a chilling, sinister chuckle from his belly. Too bad your cultivation is too low to have condensed a Dao lotus, isn't it? Li Wei turned to Luansheng Linyu, deliberately provoking him. At the Hidden Dragon Lantern Festival, you suffered a crushing defeat, leading to the demon clan losing the support of the Calamity Crossing Temple and being forced into war, resulting in this current mess. You must still resent that loss. Today, I'm giving you a chance to defeat me. After today, you'll never get another opportunity. Long Shangsen snorted, he's trying to provoke you. Don't fall for it. In Lingxiao City, we need to strike fast and achieve our goal. Luansheng Linyu's gaze remained unchanged throughout. He ordered the Dead Spirit Powerhouse holding the Yin banner, capture him. The Dead Spirit Powerhouse planted the Yin banner in the ground. With a blur of movement, he unleashed unparalleled speed. His 5 fingers spread wide, locking onto Li Wei, leaving him no chance to escape. To everyone's surprise, Li Wei's true target from the start had been this Dead Spirit Powerhouse. Seeing him charge forward, Li Wei didn't flee but instead advanced, striding boldly toward him. He slammed his palm against his chest. The spatial power of the Buddha's relic erupted, enveloping the Dead Spirit Powerhouse. In the next instant, space collapsed inward, directly pulling him into the blood-mud space. The entire arena fell silent. Luansheng Linyu, Long Shangsen, and Song Muchuan were stunned, unsure what had just happened. In truth, with Li Wei's current cultivation, he shouldn't have been able to trap the Dead Spirit Powerhouse in the blood-mud space. The powerhouse was a peak existence, second only to the giants of the immortal realm. His success was due to a perfect alignment of circumstances, heaven, earth, and humanity. Heaven, Luansheng Linyu's desire for a swift victory and capture meant the Dead Spirit Powerhouse had to close in quickly. The advantage of Earth lay in the fact that the black curtain only covered a 100-yard radius, making the space sufficiently confined. The advantage of human came from the element of surprise. No one had anticipated Li Wei's move. Without these conditions, even capturing a 7th Heaven Dao Seed Realm Martial Mystic Cultivator in the blood-mud space wouldn't have been easy. The target could have easily sensed the danger and escaped the moment Li Wei activated his technique. Luansheng Linyu assumed Li Wei was trying to provoke him, but Li Wei's true target had always been the most formidable Dead Spirit Powerhouse. As for calling upon Tang Wanzhou, Li Wei wasn't willing to take that risk for now. After all, Tang Wanzhou was involved in Yao Qian's scheme, and exposing any trace of his involvement could be disastrous. All 3 powerhouses believed Li Wei had used some kind of spatial treasure to capture the Dead Spirit Powerhouse. They expected the powerhouse to break free soon, but several breaths passed without any sign of movement. Long Shangsen exclaimed in astonishment, this is incredible. Even 1,000-character artifacts or myriad-character artifacts would violently shake and crush from within. Its cultivation is countless times greater than yours. I've already teleported it dozens of miles away. My spells are beyond your comprehension. Li Wei spoke casually, but inwardly, he was under immense pressure. He hadn't even had time to put on his governor's official robe. Without calling upon Tang Wanzhou, surviving this crisis wouldn't be easy. Luansheng Linyu had been deep in thought. He finally spoke, don't be intimidated. The spatial pulling force just now wasn't that strong. The fallen spirit commander fell because it was already charging forward, essentially leaping into the spatial trap itself. Li Wei needs time to activate that power. If we stay alert, we can handle it. Li Wei secretly admired Luansheng Linyu's composure and wisdom. He had instantly seen through the deception. Facing such an enemy was truly troublesome. The 3 men took up positions in different directions, no longer underestimating Li Wei. They planned to join forces to kill him. Yet they hesitated to charge forward together, fearing they would all fall into the spatial trap. Li Wei gripped his myriad manifestation staff spear, his psychic field expanding, his mind stretched taut. None of these 3 were weaker than him. Song Muchuan, at the 7th heaven of the Dao Seed Realm, was far stronger than him. Securing the current stalemate had already been incredibly difficult. 1 against 3, I have no chance of winning. But if I can hold you off for a while, the higher-ups in Lingxiao City will notice, and you'll be doomed. I advise you to retreat now that your plan has failed. Continuing this fight is just a matter of pride and foolishness. Li Wei stood tall and imposing, radiating an aura of invincibility, utterly devoid of fear. Long Shangsen chuckled, can a 3rd Heaven Dao Seed Realm cultivator and a 5-star spiritual master really defeat a 6th Heaven Dao Seed Realm inheritor? I think there's still a gap, wouldn't you agree? Whoosh. Her form blurred into a phantom, lifting off the ground as countless demon shadows materialized, accompanied by a deafening chorus of killing intent. 9 azure dragon scales, like 9 shards of icy light, shot from her lotus sleeves. As they neared Li Wei, they transformed into palm-sized fans, razor-sharp as blades. Li Wei activated the secret incantation character technique, encasing himself in golden armor. His stance remained as steady as a mountain, and with his spear held high, he swung it like a dragon dancing through the air, deflecting all the incoming attacks. The impact sparked showers of fire. Only the great technique, the sixfold samsara burning karma technique, could perfectly integrate psychic power and the martial mystic path. Aside from that, Li Wei could only use the martial mystic path and psychic power separately, making it difficult to achieve a combined strength greater than the sum of its parts. The best approach was to circulate spiritual qi internally while simultaneously activating the secret incantation character techniques externally, combining the inner and outer forces to enhance his body's explosive power. This was the path of the psychic martial mystic artist. Luansheng Linyu charged from another direction, flashing above Li Wei's head. His spiritual artifact robe spun with his body, scattering stardust like a brilliant starry sea pressing down. Karma burning wheel. Li Wei raised his spear and spun his body like a pivot. The Fusong divine tree rose, and golden crow flame erupted from his brow center spirit realm. Spiritual qi flame surged from his wind mansion, merging with the golden crow flame. 7 clawed flame heavenly dragons flew through the Fusong divine tree. The dazzling, scorching grinding wheel spun rapidly, colliding with the starry sea Luansheng Linyu had conjured. Boom. Flames and starlight exploded, unleashing a torrent of energy. Luansheng Linyu was sent flying backward again, a muffled groan escaping his lips. He had taken a significant blow. But his powerful physique remained unharmed, having withstood the impact. Li Wei stepped back to dispel the powerful impact. Luansheng Linyu, at the 5th heaven of the Dao Seed realm, was not only far stronger than Qin Chu but even slightly surpassed Long Shangsen, who was at the 6th heaven of the Dao Seed realm. It was an absolutely terrifying feat, surpassing inheritors across realms. Inheritors were supposed to be invincible within their own realm, not to be defeated by those below them. Clearly, Luansheng Linyu had reached the peak of the 5th heaven of the Dao Seed realm, far ahead of everyone else. The spiritual artifact battle armor he wore further amplified his combat prowess. Li Wei had only managed to gain the upper hand by using the myriad manifestation staff spear to unleash the karma burning wheel. Behind him, Song Muchuan leapt several dozen meters into the air, raised his blade above his head, and slashed down with a domineering blade aura that stretched for dozens of meters. Countless scriptures flowed across the blade aura like a river of scripture. The 7th heaven of the Dao Seed realm represented another level of existence, where Dao fruits had been condensed. His combat power far surpassed that of Luansheng Linyu and Long Shangsen. This blade carried the force of heaven splitting and earth shattering. Formation. Li Wei roared, his long hair surging upward, his brow center spirit realm blazing brightly. His arm muscles bulged as he slammed the myriad manifestation staff spear heavily into the ground. Whoosh. Stellar track patterns and dense formation scriptures appeared around him. A circular stellar track formation plate materialized beneath his feet and above his head. 7 phoenix-winged moth emperors emerged, each at the 4th heaven of the Dao Seed realm. Their combat power, however, far exceeded that level. They resembled 7 fiery clouds, weaving around Li Wei and merging with the sun, moon, and stars' grand formation. Instantly, the combined power of the 8 powerhouses surged, supporting the formation. Boom. A domineering blade aura, dozens of meters long, collided with the stellar track formation plate above Li Wei's head. It failed to cleave through. Luansheng Linyu and Long Shangsen narrowed their eyes, holding their breath. They found it increasingly difficult to comprehend the man at the heart of the formation. No wonder he had remained calm and composed from the start, he had been brimming with confidence. So this is the power of the 7th heaven of the Dao Seed realm. Truly formidable. It's indeed vastly different from martial mystic cultivators in the 6th heaven. But now it's 8 against 1. Can you possibly withstand this? Li Wei raised his myriad manifestation staff spear, and the earth spirit child at its base emitted a clear, childlike laugh. With a resounding bang, the blade aura shattered under his strike. Li Wei spun the myriad manifestation staff spear, and the sun, moon, and stars' grand formation followed suit, rotating like a grinding wheel. Then, using the formation's power, he channeled the combined power of the 8 powerhouses and unleashed a sweeping strike across the distance. Whoosh! The spearhead blazed with bright golden flames, distorting the air as it sliced through the void. A crimson gold tearing force shot toward Song Muchuan, dozens of meters away. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuansheng Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 127 382 She is the real Zhang Ning. 127th of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Song Muchen stood dozens of meters above the ground, never expecting such a move from a junior. His eyes narrowed sharply. In his ancestral field, his Dao fruit trembled violently. Whoosh! Spiritual chi and densely packed, shimmering scripture poured out like a vast river. Each strand of spiritual chi was thick and concentrated, unlike anything seen in the sixth heaven of the Dao seed realm. It was as if several strands had merged into one, easily capable of crushing any martial mystic cultivator below the Dao fruit level. The saber in his hand, fueled by Dao fruit level spiritual chi, hung in the air like a divine moon. 10,000 slaves slash. With a single slash, blade chi, spiritual chi, and scripture coalesced into 1,000-strong army. Cavalry and infantry alike, faces contorted in fury, clad in scripture armor, charged forward with murderous intent and overwhelming momentum, colliding head-on with the crimson gold tear of light Li Wei had created. The fallen spirit powerhouse was using a soul fusion secret technique, not having completely erased Song Muchen's soul spirit consciousness, but rather merging with it. This allowed him to wield the Song clan's blade techniques and Dao techniques. Boom. Boom. The crimson gold tear of light cleared a vast swath through the 1,000-strong army, leaving it significantly dimmed. Song Muchen held his blade before him, the scripture and energy surging from its surface forming a shield seal to block the crimson gold light streaks. His body shuddered violently, sending him flying over 100 meters backward before his back slammed into the spirit realm black curtain. He plummeted back to the ground. Immediately, he gripped his blade with both hands in a defensive stance, his knees bent in a slight crouch, his pupils shrinking to pinpricks. He could no longer look down upon the five-star spiritual master within the formation with his previous air of superiority. Boom. Boom. Long Shangsen controlled 9 dragon scales, each wielded like a 100-character artifact, to restrain Li Wei, denying him the chance to press his advantage. Song Muchen swung his blade again, cleaving the sky and earth in a horizontal slash. Compared to a month ago, when he challenged the ninefold Dao image diagram at the West Sea Palace, his psychic power has grown even stronger. Even without resorting to that bizarre immobilization talisman, Qin Chu, the top cultivator of the Dao seed realm, fifth heaven at the Calamity Crossing Temple, is no longer his match. During the challenge of the ninefold Dao image diagram, Li Wei had been unable to use many of his techniques and had relied on the all-character immobilization talisman to defeat Qin Chu. So these are the 7 monarch marquee grade rare insects. Once they form a formation, they're completely impenetrable. No wonder so many covet them. Their growth rate is astonishing. Truly, they are 7 treasures. Long Shangsen was both curious and astonished, sensing extraordinary energy fluctuations emanating from the 7 phoenix-winged moth emperors. Had she not broken through to the 6th heaven of the Dao seed realm, defeating even one of them would have required considerable effort. The 7 surrounded Li Wei like 7 guardian deities, with the moon encircled by stars. Luan Sheng Linyu observed the myriad manifestations staff spear in Li Wei's hand and the formation's operational principles. You're at the peak of 5-star spiritual master, while I'm at the peak of the 5th heaven of the Dao seed realm. I truly wish we could have a fair fight to see if your path as a spiritual master can catch up to the young celestial emperors. But in Lingxiao City, that wish will likely never be fulfilled. Luan Sheng Linyu knew Li Wei's combat prowess within the same cultivation realm was formidable. However, attempting to leap 2 realms and defeat him, from the Dao seed realm, 3rd heaven, was utterly impossible. Moreover, there was the insurmountable barrier of the Dao Lotus realm between them. What truly caught Luan Sheng Linyu's attention was Li Wei's psychic power cultivation and his Dao technique that combined psychic power and martial mystic Dao. Both of Luan Sheng Linyu's defeats had been due to that psychic martial fusion, Dao technique, which was simply too profound. No one has ever defeated the young celestial emperors in a battle of equal cultivation using psychic power alone. His victory over Qin Chu was merely a fluke, achieved through a special immobilization talisman. Besides, Qin Chu is just a Dao image, how much combat intelligence could he possibly have? Seeing her attacks repeatedly fail, Long Shangsen drew a circle with her slender right arm. 9 azure dragon scales flew within the circle, each releasing hundreds of golden scripture characters, their surfaces clattering like scales. Within the azure radiance of the circle, the 9 scales transformed into 81 scales, which in turn multiplied into 6,561 scales. These countless scales coalesced into a dragon scale sword dozens of feet long, its surface covered with over 1,000 scripture characters, forming a 1,000-character artifact. It coiled around her like a slender azure dragon, her aura reaching its absolute peak. Even the blood handprint demonic armor was merely a 9th-grade 100-character artifact. Dragon Immortal Maiden, you seem to look down on spiritual masters. Do you dare to face me in single combat? With my insect tamer skills and formation mastery, I can turn the tables on you. Li Wei stepped forward, pursuing Long Shangsen with the Great Sun Moon Stars formation. If you want a one-on-one fight, first put away your 7 rare insects. Long Shangsen retreated while fighting, offering a sweet, shallow smile. Then she turned to Luan Sheng Lin Yu. We can't give him any more chances. His cultivation speed is too fast. Whoosh. Luan Sheng Lin Yu spread his massive wings, a pair of fiery and windy forces converging upon them, dividing the space behind him into yin and yang halves. In his Dao Heart manifestation, 6-clawed immortal dragons emerged, even larger and more solid than Li Wei's 7-clawed heavenly dragon, a clear display of his superior cultivation realm. Li Wei, he said, breaking your formation isn't as difficult as you think. What? Are you going to use the immortal feather? Li Wei knew that Luan Sheng Lin Yu possessed a feather from the ancient immortal Yu Jia, imbued with immortal Dao scripture and a trace of immortal power, capable of shattering any obstacle. Activated by Luan Sheng Lin Yu's current cultivation, its power would be terrifying beyond measure. Luan Sheng Lin Yu shook his head gently. I don't need the immortal feather to deal with you. You cultivate psychic power, and so do I. I'll break your formation with my own formation. He dared not use the immortal feather in Lingxiao City. Its power was enough to tear through the spirit realm black curtain, causing energy to leak out. If Li Wei were exposed in Lingxiao City, he might still have a chance of survival. But if Luan Sheng Lin Yu were exposed, it would be certain death. Whoosh. Luan Sheng Lin Yu's spirit realm between his eyebrows opened, and formation glyphs surged forth like a tidal wave, coalescing into a 3-jong-wide formation plate before him. At the center of the plate, an azure phoenix formation beast materialized. These formation glyphs weren't drawn by him but came from a formation master of the demon race. He had hidden them within the spirit realm as one of his trump cards. Li Wei knew Luan Sheng Lin Yu's psychic power cultivation was quite advanced. At the Hidden Dragon Lantern Festival, the yellow dragon sword had nearly been swallowed by his spirit realm between his eyebrows. You've wasted enough time. I advise you to flee quickly. Do you really think I've exhausted my tricks? Continuing this fight will benefit no one. Li Wei didn't want a prolonged battle. He had managed to withstand their initial assault because they were wary of the unknown spatial power. Aside from Luan Sheng Lin Yu, the other two dared not approach, resorting to long-range attacks. Moreover, the 3 of them attacked separately, not together. They were cautious but lacked momentum. Too late. They've missed their last chance to escape. Zhang Ning's ethereal voice echoed from the darkness behind Luan Sheng Lin Yu. The sound of rushing wind grew closer. She appeared in white robes, veiled, her body shrouded in spiritual qi. Using unknown means, she had breached the spirit realm black curtain. Luan Sheng Lin Yu, Long Shangsen, and Song Muchen simultaneously felt their hearts tighten. Zhang Ning's appearance meant that the outside world had already detected the disturbance here. Without hesitation, each chose a different direction to flee. Li Wei, I've left a great gift for you at the Six Thoughts Zen Temple. Before retreating, Luan Sheng Lin Yu hurled a formation plate at Li Wei, preventing him from pursuing. The azure phoenix formation beast within the plate spread its twin wings, growing to dozens of meters long. Its sharp claws slashed toward the Great Sun Moon Stars formation. Li Wei wasn't afraid. If Luan Sheng Lin Yu had been in full control, he might have posed a threat. But now, Luan Sheng Lin Yu was a frightened bird, desperate only to escape. A masterless formation beast held no terror. Boom. 7 spears erupted in rapid succession, each step a strike, shattering the azure phoenix formation beast into countless formation glyphs. Li Wei focused his gaze on Luan Sheng Lin Yu, only to find him driven back by a single palm strike from Zhang Ning. It was unbelievable. How could Zhang Ning, at the 4th heaven of the Dao Seed realm, have repelled Luan Sheng Lin Yu? Even with Luan Sheng Lin Yu's momentum shattered and his only thought escape, it shouldn't have been possible. A single realm's difference was like heaven and earth. This spiritual qi. Li Wei sensed something strange about the spiritual qi surrounding Zhang Ning. She was using a treasure, similar to the smiling Buddha mask, to conceal its true nature. Why would Zhang Ning need to hide her spiritual qi in Lingxiao City? Clearly, this wasn't Zhang Ning. Realization dawned on Li Wei. A knowing smile flashed in his eyes as he understood that with her restraining him, Luan Sheng Lin Yu couldn't escape. He then led the 7 phoenix-winged moth emperors to intercept Long Shangsen. Dragon Immortal Maiden, don't leave. Let's settle this once and for all. Li Wei activated the Qian secret incantation character, his body flickering forward repeatedly to catch up with Long Shangsen. The myriad manifestation staff spear, weighing 33,333 jin, descended like a brushstroke, aiming for her back. Long Shangsen frowned, her body shimmering like a phantom as she dodged the attack. With a wave of her arm, the dragon scale sword snaked through the air, its tip arcing toward Li Wei's neck at an unexpected angle. Bang! Both of them retreated, using their defensive techniques to neutralize the force of the other's attack. Let me go, and I'll owe you a favor. I'll repay it in the future, I promise, Long Shangsen said urgently, her voice soft and alluring, filled with subtle implications. She knew the consequences of being held back by Li Wei. Li Wei remained silent, swinging his spear down in a fierce attack, leaving a bloody gash across Long Shangsen's shoulder. He loved pursuit battles. His opponents, desperate to escape, dared not linger, forced to endure his relentless attacks. Suddenly, with a resounding whoosh, the ground transformed into a yellow, liquid substance. The fallen spirit powerhouse and Tai Shi Yu burst from the earth, still locked in combat. The clash of their energies sent shockwaves that made the eardrums of those below ache. The fallen spirit powerhouse retreated, clutching the yin banner, and drew the spirit realm black curtain into its folds. With his other hand, he seized Luan Sheng Lin Yu's wrist, activating an escape technique to plunge back into the earth. Where do you think you're going? Tai Shi Yu hurled his blue crystal spiritual staff at the street. It pierced the earth, turning a vast area into molten rock. A pained scream echoed from the depths below. I will leave this place to you. Don't let those two escape. Tai Shi Yu retrieved his staff and, following the trail of chi he sensed, pursued them, vanishing in an instant at the end of the street. Li Wei, just before the spirit realm black curtain disappeared, recalled the 7 phoenix-winged moth emperors into his cosmic pouch and stowed the myriad manifestations staff spear in his wind mansion, retreating to the side to avoid being noticed by too many imperial court officials. He then watched Zhang Ning attack Long Shangsen, who had already been wounded by him. The sight of 2 beautiful women, one an immortal and the other a demon, locked in combat was truly captivating. The street gradually returned to its normal brightness. Soft sunlight filtered down. Imperial court experts quickly converged from all directions. Some soared through the air, while others stood atop rooftops. Still others formed formations on the ground, advancing steadily forward. Song Muchen had failed to escape. He was intercepted by Song Lin and his sister, Song Qingli, who blocked his path with their blades. More West Sea Palace experts then swarmed forward, and the battle had reached a desperate, all-or-nothing climax. Li Wei leaned against a wall, watching the spectacle with detached amusement. Dragon Immortal Maiden, why bother struggling? Continuing this fight is pointless. Long Shangsen transmitted her voice through spiritual energy. If you don't save me, I'll reveal your secret, that you possess the Divine Sun Life Token. Then we'll all die together. Li Wei remained utterly unfazed. He didn't even bother with spiritual energy transmission, speaking aloud instead, let's see if they believe you or me. Feather Immortal, just kill her. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuansheng Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 128 383 Interrogation by his fiancé. 128th of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Zhang Ning withdrew her spiritual qi, flashed behind Li Wei, and whispered, what evidence does she have over you? A group of imperial court experts surged forward in relays, surrounding Long Shangsen. Li Wei stared at the face hidden behind her veil, her eyes still as cold and profound as ever, her aura eerily similar, showing no trace of weakness. Nothing major, just a minor issue. It's good they didn't kill her. We can interrogate her. Swish. Tai Shi Yu flew back in a rage, landing heavily on the ground nearby. He had clearly failed to capture the dead spirit powerhouse in Luansheng Linyu. He roared, his voice like thunder, what were you City Defense Corps doing? When the demons and dead spirits have entered the city. He charged forward, his staff swinging down at Song Muchuan. Boom. The Dao Seed Realm 7th Heaven expert was struck by the staff and immediately lost his combat ability, his bones shattered. Tai Shi Yu stomped on Song Muchuan's chest, his fingertips emitting strands of spiritual light Lingguang light that pierced into Song Muchuan's body, attempting to extract the dead spirit within. Song Muchuan's eyes remained fearless, and a dry, eerie laugh escaped his lips. The bone flute calls forth nether soldiers, white bones become boats to cross the long river. The netherworld travels west to east, and from this day forth, dawn and dusk shall cease to exist in the human realm. Ha ha ha. Hiss. A massive surge of death spirit fire erupted from Song Muchuan's body, enveloping him completely. What exactly are you trying to do? Why did you come to Lingxiao City? Tai Shi Yu desperately tried to stop him, but it was useless. The death spirit fire was terrifyingly powerful. He retreated quickly, unwilling to risk contact, and watched helplessly as Song Muchuan burned into a charred corpse. Fury exploded within him, and he roared in rage. Fortunately, there was one survivor. Experts from the City Defense Corps, the West Sea Royal Manor, Phoenix Terrace, Keelan Terrace, and the embroidered robe Divine Guard arrived on the scene. Their leaders surveyed the shattered battlefield, the corpses, and the scattered spirit money. They approached Tai Shiyu to inquire about the situation. Tai Shiyu had never faced such a perilous situation in Lingxiao City since childhood. His fury was at its peak. Is Lingxiao City your responsibility or mine? Why are you asking me? Who am I supposed to ask? One day, Lingxiao City will be breached, and you'll still be clueless. Useless. All of you are useless. Tai Shi, why did the City Defense Corps take so long to arrive? Even if this area was shrouded in darkness, there should have been anomalies. Your response should not have been so sluggish. Song Lin, what's going on with Song Muchuan? Why was a dead spirit hidden within him? The Song clan had better investigate this thoroughly. Fortunately, you and your sister stopped him. Otherwise, this case would have to be taken all the way to Lingxiao Palace. Tai Shiyu was furious, not only because he had been ambushed and nearly killed, but also because he sensed an inexplicable crisis, realizing this was no ordinary matter. He vowed to investigate the incident thoroughly. Yao Qian and Song Yulo, two Immortal Realm giants, had also pursued the attackers earlier but returned empty-handed. Hand the survivor over to me. Phoenix Terrace will uncover the truth and provide a satisfactory explanation to the first commander. Yao Qian, clad in a green official robe and a long-winged official hat, had a fair complexion, no beard, refined features, and an unparalleled heroic bearing, exuding a scholar's aura. Standing mid-air atop clouds, his intent constantly enveloped the surrounding city. Song Yulo added, Keelan Terrace will fully cooperate with Phoenix Terrace. Tai Shiyu looked up at them with a cold laugh. With only one survivor left, I trust no one. The Tai Shi clan will handle this investigation ourselves. Luansheng Linyu and the Dead Spirit Powerhouse are still in the city. You two should focus on tracking them down and searching for them. Yao Qian urged. Luansheng Linyu entered the city personally, indicating a critical mission. We must ascertain its nature swiftly. Tai Shiyu, can you bear the consequences if your actions delay a matter of such importance? Tai Shiyu remained unmoved, unfazed by their immortal realm cultivation. Phoenix Terrace is responsible for intelligence gathering and monitoring the entire city. How could Luansheng Linyu and the Dead Spirit Powerhouse appear without your knowledge? Can you bear the consequences of such negligence? You've seen it, haven't you? The imperial court is utterly rotten. When trouble arises, everyone shuffles responsibility. When there's glory to be gained, they claw at each other. Those who actually want to get things done are constantly hamstrung by various factions. It looks like there are countless government offices and experts everywhere, but in reality, it's a chaotic mess, and efficiency is abysmal. Zhang Ning and Li Wei had traveled several miles away, sitting across from each other in a small boat about 20 feet long. The Azure boat, a spiritual artifact, drifted along a spiritual stream about 100 feet wide, following the current. I hope Tai Shiyu can withstand the pressure and keep Long Shangsen alive. Otherwise, she'll just be another Zhang Xin, silenced in prison, Li Wei said. Zhang Ning leaned back against the boat's awning, sitting languidly with her long, black hair cascading down and her skirt spread out like white petals. She said seriously, shouldn't we just tell Tai Shiyu directly? He seems trustworthy and capable. The Tai Shi clan has serious problems, and someone needs to investigate from within. Li Wei pondered. Luansheng Linyu's failed attack is a golden opportunity to eliminate 30 undead experts. As for Tai Shiyu, I'll find a chance to talk to him. How many people from your Zuaoqiu clan have arrived, and what are your plans? Zhang Ning pulled out a folding fan, snapped it open with a flourish, and smiled radiantly. The Zhu tribe and the Zuaoqiu clan are allies, advancing and retreating together. Whatever your plans are, so are ours. Rest assured, we won't intentionally create chaos that leads to Lingxiao City's downfall. In this race war, we must first eliminate the outsiders. Li Wei gazed at her crystal clear, jade-like face, a sense of unease stirring within him. How about you disguise yourself and return? What? Do you like Zhang Ning? Afraid of revealing your true feelings before my all-seeing wisdom? The voice coming from Zhang Ning's mouth had transformed into Zuaoqiu Hongting's, even her demeanor completely different. Li Wei said, I have a fiancé. Then what about Zuo Ning? Zuaoqiu Hongting in your left hand, Zhang Ning in your right. You're quite greedy, aren't you? Zuaoqiu Hongting stared at him with a smile. Li Wei nearly choked on air, quickly waving his hand. It was just a random name I picked. It doesn't have any deeper meaning. Relax, just be honest with me. Aren't we brothers who have faced life and death together? If you truly love them, I'll definitely help you in the future. A marriage certificate is nothing compared to a brother's happiness. Zuaoqiu Hongting gently fanned herself, her crimson lips glistening, completely dominating the conversation. Li Wei said, I praised you to the heavens to Zhang Ning, saying you were like a celestial maiden descending to the mortal realm. How could a celestial maiden be so aggressive? Wait, I heard that a peerless figure named Fu Wenyan from the Calamity Crossing Temple has arrived in the Lingxiao realm, seemingly after Zhuoqiu Hongting's fiancé. Do you know this hero from the Calamity Crossing Temple? Zhuoqiu Hongting said solemnly, Fu Wenyan is not to be underestimated. He's far more talented, gifted, and intelligent than Xie Chukai. He's a true young celestial emperor. Li Waiyi replied, for someone as proud as you to give him such high praise, he must be truly extraordinary. Extraordinary, yes, but he's also driven by immense ambition. Do you really think someone like him would come to the Lingxiao realm just for a woman? Zhuoqiu Hongting continued, Xie Chukai and the demon child also have their own agendas. Be cautious around them. Huh. Zhang Ning is here to see you. We'll talk again later. Don't blame your brother for not warning you, be careful of Zhang Ning. She's deeply cunning. Try opening the tower and palace platform in her intent, it'll shock you. That's all for today. Come find me when you have time. I want to hear all about what's happened in the last 2 years. My life has been quite exciting too. Remember to bring wine and snacks when you come. Li Waiyi looked up and out of the boat. Standing on the stone arch bridge ahead was a figure as beautiful as a painting. Her gaze was fixed straight ahead, her veil fluttering gently in the wind. When Li Waiyi turned back, Zhuoqiu Hongting had vanished. In his hand was a crumpled note bearing an address. He crushed the note into a ball and rubbed it into ashes. He put away Zhuoqiu Hongting's spiritual artifact, the azure boat, leapt onto the bridge, and landed beside Zhang Ning. Zhang Ning turned and walked away. It was Zhuoqiu Hongting, wasn't it? That incident over there, she disguised herself as me to do it. What exactly are you trying to achieve? You haven't told me the whole truth. Li Waiyi followed her. Since she returned from the Calamity Crossing Temple, this is the first time I've seen her. We've exchanged less than 10 sentences. I have no idea what she's up to. It's more like you don't want to tell me. Zhang Ning stared ahead, walking quickly. With her status, she wouldn't risk coming to Lingxiao City unless something of great importance was at stake. The same goes for Luansheng Linyu and you. Miss. Zhuang Yu hurried over, glanced at Li Waiyi without recognizing him, and used spiritual qi to transmit a message to Zhang Ning. 15 minutes later, Li Waiyi and Zhang Ning arrived at a nearby restaurant where Tai Shi Yu was interrogating Long Shangsen. Yao Qian and Song Yulo had already left. Li Waiyi gave the name, Zhao Meng, and was escorted inside by soldiers of the City Defense Corps. Zhang Ning was left in the courtyard, clearly because Tai Shi Yu was wary of people from the Phoenix Terrace. They climbed to the second floor. Tai Shi Yu emerged from the room, his fist still clenched and bloodied. He looked nothing like his usual pampered self, his eyes icy cold. Li Waiyi walked over and looked at Long Shangsen, who lay on the floor inside, beaten to the brink of death. Let's just search her soul. Tai Shi Yu shook his head, she's been implanted with death spirit fire. The moment we touch her, she'll burst into flames. The presence of Luansheng Linyu and a dead spirit powerhouse in the city suggests a grand scheme. She's the only survivor, so we must handle this with caution. Li Waiyi entered the room, carefully stepping around the blood-soaked floor to reach Long Shangsen's side and examine her injuries. You were truly ruthless. Hearing Li Waiyi's voice, Long Shangsen forced her eyes open. We nearly died because of her. We haven't been ruthless enough, Tai Shi Yu said, considering other methods of torture, ready to resort to more extreme measures. Li Waiyi said, the reason she won't talk is because she knows that if she reveals the secret, we'll kill her. But if we give her a glimmer of hope, she might be willing to speak. What do you mean? Tai Shi Yu asked. Li Waiyi replied, perhaps Tai Shi Bai could handle this better than we can. You want Tai Shi Bai to interrogate her? Tai Shi Yu asked. Li Waiyi said earnestly, he has to face this trial sooner or later. I think it's better for him to overcome it himself than for you to help him. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuansheng Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 129 384 A Soulmate. 129th of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. The entire district was sealed off. Large numbers of city defense camp soldiers gathered to prevent any demon race powerhouses from silencing witnesses. Half an hour later, dusk began to fall. Tai Shi Bai arrived. He had learned what had happened on his way, his face grim and silent as he strode into the restaurant. Entering the room, he saw Long Shangsen lying on the floor in the center, her body covered in wounds. A complex emotion flickered in his eyes before he turned to Tai Shi Yu standing by the window. Tai Shi Yu had washed the blood from his body and changed into fresh, luxurious robes, radiating an air of noble arrogance. What are you staring at? Your people from Lingxiao City almost got me killed because of her. Letting you live is already a display of brotherly loyalty. Tai Shi Bai knelt down and pressed a finger against Long Shangsen's ancestral field, breaking the seal. As Long Shangsen regained the ability to circulate spiritual qi, her complexion gradually improved, no longer as pale and weak as before. But she couldn't stand. Tai Shiyu had broken her legs. Tears welled in her eyes, making her appear utterly helpless. Cousin, I'm so sorry. They planted the death spirit fire in me. If I don't obey their orders, I'll burn to death. But I swear, I would never do anything to betray you or harm the Tai Shi clan. Never. Even if it means dying. Tai Shiyu couldn't bear to watch any longer. We've come this far, and you're still playing coy. If you don't tell the truth, you'll die even if Tai Shi Bai, General Commander Tai Shi, and Long Sheksen come to save you. Tai Shi Bai turned to Long Shangsen. This matter is known throughout the city. Every government office wants to question you. After tonight, I won't be able to protect your life. You must tell me everything you know immediately. Only by capturing Luan Shang Linyu as quickly as possible can you redeem yourself and earn a chance at survival. Tai Shiyu added, who are the other fallen spirit powerhouses? Where did they come from? What's their goal? How many are hiding in Lingxiao City? Don't tell me you don't know. If you keep lying and playing the victim, I swear I'll throw you into a brothel to serve customers. Do I look like I don't know? Tai Shi Bai said sternly, get out. Give me half an hour. If you haven't given me useful information in half an hour, don't blame me for resorting to unsavory methods. Tai Shiyu cursed under his breath and stormed out of the room, descending the stairs. The last rays of the setting sun faded away. In the courtyard on the first floor, lanterns flickered to life, illuminating the area. Imperial court-martial mystic Dao experts stood guard everywhere, beneath the eaves, on the steps. Li Wei and Zhang Ning stood 5 paces apart, beside 2 pillars, gazing at the warm, cyan sky of dusk as they communicated through spiritual energy transmission. Li Wei said, when the black curtain opened, Zhang Ning and Long Shangsen clashed, witnessed by many. Phoenix Terrace is questioning you. How did you respond? Naturally, I answered truthfully. I wasn't there at the time and knew nothing. Covering for Zuoqiu haunting would only have created more inconsistencies. Zhang Ning's face was veiled, her body radiating strands of spiritual light. She stood tall and graceful, her skin glowing even more alluringly in the night, utterly out of place in this turbid world. She shouldn't be trapped in the imperial court, she belonged among the 9 heavens. She said, Luan Shang Linyu and Song Muchen have already been exposed. We can use this opportunity to eliminate all 30 fallen spirit powerhouses who have infiltrated the city without implicating you. Since you informed me, I've been tormented by this matter. Without clearing these hidden threats, it feels like the entire city is my enemy. Li Wei looked at her ethereal beauty, yet knew her heart was filled with worldly concerns. He couldn't help but tease, to be honest, a peerless beauty like Lord Zhang should be revered, enshrined as an immortal, and kept far from the mundane world, like the goddess in a temple. It's the fault of everyone in the world for forcing you into this predicament of worrying about the nation and its people. Zhang Ning frowned slightly, her expression serious. In your position, you should focus on your duties. Why are you mocking me? My thinking is simple. The world is in chaos, making it hard to breathe. With our cultivation and abilities, we should do whatever we can. Fine, I'll follow your lead. But we must wait for Long Shangsen to confess that she leaked the information, Li Wei said. Zhang Ning remained stern, an air of aloofness about her. Zhuang Yu's list contains 212 names. I've eliminated most of them in the past month, leaving 92 suspects with the highest probability. Accurately identifying the 30 traitors from those 92 won't be easy. I'm in a better position. I've narrowed the suspects down to 50. We can arrest all of them. Li Wei pulled a sheet of paper from his sleeve and discreetly handed it to her. Just say you received a secret report a month ago, that Phoenix Terrace had already noticed some clues, and that you've been investigating secretly all along. The credit will be yours. Zhang Ning accepted the paper. She felt no need to thank Li Wei. Their bond was like that of comrades in arms, working in perfect harmony toward a shared goal. She desperately wanted to leave right now, her voice urgent. After what happened today, those people must have gone into hiding. We need to act quickly, we might still catch some. No need to rush. The Julie hidden sect has been watching them. If they've gone into hiding, get the latest updates from Chen Chuan, Li Wei said. Zhang Ning's many worries eased, her beautiful eyes brightening. A rare smile that could topple kingdoms graced her lips, so that's why you summoned so many hidden sect masters to Lingxiao City. You mocked me for my concern for the nation and its people, but aren't you the same? You're just refusing to admit it, as always. I'm doing my duty as a ruler. What about you? You're taking on responsibilities that aren't yours. Li Wei stood tall, his gaze sincere. The rise and fall of the world is the responsibility of every man. As you said, we can only do what we can. It might not change anything, but at least we can live with a clear conscience. Well said. The rise and fall of the world is the responsibility of every man. That's the duty all martial mystic cultivators should embrace. Zhang Ning turned to him, her gaze lingering on his face. 2 years ago, your words, heaven is dead, the yellow heaven shall rise, infuriated me. You sounded like a complete rebel. But now, I'll give you my full support to break free from the heretical sect's control. By the way, the Imperial Court is almost certain that the demonic sect's headquarters is located in the underground Immortal Mansion. The second palace master has already left the city to persuade various factions to take the initiative and destroy it before the Yin corpses Sao Rice, causing all 28 prefectures to fall and become a zombie kingdom overrun by rice corpses. Zhang Ning noticed that Li Wei's eyes showed no joy, only deepening concern. Reading his thoughts, she asked, puzzled, what are you worried about? With the second palace master out of Lingxiao City, the city would be left vulnerable. Persuading various factions to attack the Twin Rice sect's main hall might force the sect to strike prematurely. The demon race had been working to provoke the Twin Rice sect into action. The secret of the sect's headquarters in the underground Immortal Mansion was their doing. Li Wei had thought they had at least 2 more months, but the current situation suggested war could erupt at any moment. Before the storm, the ants sensed the coming rain. He said, I've heard that ghost cities and bone palaces in the nether realm of the dead, along with the demon race, are mobilizing massive armies, targeting the Western Territory. Meanwhile, war has broken out in the East Sea. At this critical juncture, can the Imperial Court truly handle a 3-front war by attacking the Twin Rice sect's main hall? Zhang Ning gazed at the sky, where countless stars were emerging, and sighed softly. This grand game of the world is a contest among the transcendents. It's beyond our comprehension or ability to help. All we can influence is the immediate, smaller picture. The transcendents stand atop the mountains, able to see the rise and fall of the peaks, the colors of the trees and grass. In the grand scheme, nothing escapes their view. But they can't see the hidden dangers beneath the lush forests. They lack the energy to explore every nook and cranny. Disaster is like a spark igniting dry grass. By the time a mountain fire erupts, it's often too late to extinguish it. What's even more terrifying is that the fires aren't confined to a single location. They're breaking out across the entire world. In such a scenario, even the transcendents would be overwhelmed, forced to rush from one crisis to another until they're utterly exhausted and helpless, forced to watch everything burn to ashes. Li Wei understood this perfectly. He pondered silently, wondering what Qilin Zhuang and Azure Phoenix were doing at this moment. What hidden battles were the transcendents and immortal realm great powers of the world engaged in? It was clear that the Imperial Court alone stood no chance against the demon race. With the need to defend both the East Sea and the Western Territory, how many transcendents remained in Lingxiao City? This was an unsolvable dilemma. Even if Li Wei had revealed the peril facing Lingxiao City and summoned all the Imperial Court's top experts back, the outcome would have only been to save the city while the Eastern and Western territories fell completely. The only difference would have been a gradual collapse instead of a sudden collapse. The ultimate outcome was immutable. Turning the cloud heaven, Yuntian, immortal plane into a slaughterhouse for the demon race and heretical sects was the human race's only chance to turn the tide. Tai Shiyu entered the courtyard, his gaze shifting between the two of them. Sensing something amiss, he chuckled. The world is abuzz with rumors that Feather Immortal is the Zhu Li Hidden One's soulmate, sharing an extraordinary experience in Li Province and Chu Prefecture. One wields the Jingyu sword to slay enemies, while the other controls 7 rare insects to manipulate their foes. Li Wei, Feather Immortal is known for her aloofness, showing favor to no one. Even a handsome and dashing figure like myself has never earned a single glance of her approval. Yet, this woman of strict professionalism hasn't thrown you into the Phoenix Terrace prison. Clearly, you hold a special place in her heart. Why not call off your engagement to the Zhuoqiu sect? Join the Imperial Court, and I'll ask my father to approach the Zhang clan on your behalf. Li Wei smiled. As someone whose ancestral field has been ruined, my martial mystic Dao path is blocked. The Zhang clan likely wouldn't be interested. If you want to discuss romance, don't drag me into it, Zhang Ning said, moving to the far side of the courtyard door to give them privacy. Tai Shiyu transmitted his voice through spiritual energy. Was it Tang Wanzhou who attacked? Li Wei knew he was referring to the assassination attempt earlier that day. He needed to provide a reasonable explanation. Yes, it was her. But I guarantee her purpose in entering the city isn't to sow chaos in the Imperial Court. Tai Shiyu nodded. I believe you. I've met her once. She's a woman of extraordinary charisma, with a magnanimous heart and a sense of right and wrong and the greater good that few men can match. Well done, Wei Yi. Tang Wanzhou is another unattainable type. The fact that she looks favorably upon you almost makes me envious. Don't misunderstand, Li Wei said, young Lord Tang is entirely focused on the martial mystic Dao. Dong. Dong. Tai Shi Bai descended the stairs, his brow furrowed. He turned to Tai Shiyu. She doesn't know much, but she revealed 2 things. First, 30 fallen spirit powerhouses, using the soul fusion secret technique, have infiltrated Lingxiao City by hiding within the bodies of 30 Dao Seed Realm experts from the Imperial Court. They plan to sow chaos at a critical moment. Tai Shi Yu's expression changed drastically, his scalp tingling. 30. How could there be so many? And with the soul fusion secret technique, it's impossible to detect them in a short time. Tai Shi Bai continued, second, the demon race army and the dead spirit army will attack the western territory around the Lantern Festival. This timing aligns with the Imperial Court's predictions. She doesn't know the specific deployment details, nor could she, given her cultivation level. Brother Yu, can you help me save her life? This time, it was my mistake. I misjudged her character and brought disaster upon the Tai Shi clan. Tai Shi Yu found it difficult to refuse the plea. If we can eliminate the threat quickly, arresting those who should be arrested and killing those who deserve it, that would be a great achievement. Then, when you make your request, the higher-ups might be willing to give the Tai Shi clan some face. But 30 undead powerhouses hiding in plain sight. How can we possibly find them? And they've likely already gone deeper underground by now. Zhang Ning approached, glanced at Li Wei, and produced a page of names. A month ago, I received a secret report and began investigating this matter. We've currently identified 50 suspects, but further verification is needed. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuanhuan Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 130-385 The Grand Temple of Eternal Harmony. 130th of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Have you confirmed it? Tai Shi Yu froze, staring at Zhang Ning's serious expression. He clapped his hands excitedly, exclaiming, haha, the Phoenix Terrace is truly remarkable. Excellent. What's the point of further investigation? Arrest all 50 of them and lock them up. We can sort them out later. Better to arrest the wrong person than to let one slip through. This is a monumental achievement that could earn us a wealth of top-tier cultivation resources. Tai Shi Bai was even more thrilled, casting a grateful glance at Tai Shi Yu. The Tai Shi clan won't compete for this merit. Feather Immortal, please name your demands. Zhang Ning replied, I need the City Defense Corps, under the Tai Shi clan's command, to cooperate with the Phoenix Terrace. Tonight, we'll round up all the dead spirits in one fell swoop. Excellent. Let's move immediately, Tai Shi Bai urged eagerly. Outside the courtyard, a surge of spiritual qi rippled through the air. Whoosh. A eunuch official in his 50s, clad in a green robe, materialized in the tavern using the Dao technique of swift travel. He scanned the 4 figures in the courtyard and announced in a shrill, aged voice, the minister of the Imperial Temple has ordered the dragon sect demoness to be sent to him. Tai Shi Bai turned to Tai Shi Yu with a pleading look. The minister of the Imperial Temple, Tai Shi Qingxi, was Tai Shi Yu's father and a towering figure within the Tai Shi clan. Tai Shi Yu hadn't expected the old man to interfere. He calmly said, you and Lord Zhang should proceed immediately and handle this flawlessly. Leave no room for further complications. I will personally escort her to the Grand Temple of Eternal Harmony and strive to keep her alive until dawn. Li Wei, come with me. Upon hearing the name, Tai Shi Bai glanced at Li Wei, who was disguised as Zhao Meng, and paused slightly. Zuo Ning. Li Wei offered an apologetic smile. Once this mission is complete, we'll talk in detail tomorrow. In the carriage heading to the Grand Temple of Eternal Harmony, Long Shangsen's cultivation was sealed once again. Li Wei and Tai Shi Yu sat on opposite sides, each lost in their own thoughts. Li Wei remained skeptical of Long Shangsen's confession. It was possible she truly didn't know the details of the attack on Lingxiao City and genuinely believed her role was limited to creating chaos within the city to support the Western Territory campaign. Every hidden operative was merely a pawn. Only when the attack date was confirmed would Luansheng Linyu issue the final order personally. This was the only way to minimize the risk of information leaks. Yet, it was impossible for her to know only 2 pieces of information. Li Wei spoke gently, if you have any secrets, now is the time to tell them. It's not too late. Luansheng Linyu cares nothing for your life. Why continue to endure this for him? Long Shangsen dared not reveal Li Wei possessed the Divine Sun's life token. In her eyes, Li Wei had previously helped her. Without Li Wei's intervention, which brought Tai Shi Bai to her rescue, she would have had no chance of survival. If Li Wei were to reveal her connection to Luansheng Linyu to Tai Shi Bai, it would extinguish her last hope of survival. She believed that if she kept Li Wei's secret, he would keep hers. Li Wei said, she might be afraid of being killed by the demon clan's death spirit fire if the secret leaks. First Commander, do you know any methods to block the death spirit fire? I've been maintaining a psychic field to shield her, fearing she might be silenced, Tai Shi Yu replied. Li Wei asked, isn't there a more permanent solution? Certain special fields can block it, such as the prisons of the various government offices in Lingxiao City or the residences of transcendent cultivators. Of course, it depends on the intensity of the death spirit fire within her, Tai Shi Yu explained. The Grand Temple of Eternal Harmony was located right next to Lingxiao Palace. Through the carriage window, Li Wei gazed at the three palace complexes built into the mountainside. Veiled in clouds and mist, they were utterly magnificent. The Phoenix Pavilion stood at the center, 1,000 feet tall, its architecture resembling swirling flames. The main hall, perched atop the mountain peak, was hidden within the clouds. Through the dense mist, a colossal phoenix feather shimmered, radiating a terrifying aura. Yu Yaozi, the world's strongest cultivator, had been locked in seclusion on that peak for over a decade. Even as the carriage passed below, a profound sense of oppression hung in the air. As long as she's here, no one can break through Lingxiao City. This was the consensus among all martial mystic cultivators in Lingxiao City. 1,000 years ago, Yu Yaozi's record was truly terrifying. She single-handedly drove back the entire nether realm of the dead with just a sword. She was a ruthless powerhouse capable of taking on a whole group of transcendent beings alone. Yu Yaozi had merely locked herself away in her palace. She wasn't dead. To the left lay Phoenix Terrace, a cluster of white jade towers rising 900 feet high. To the right stood Qilin Terrace, 800 feet tall, dominated by black stone structures overgrown with lush vegetation, surrounded by exotic birds in flight. Above the three palace complexes, a steady rain of spiritual qi dripped from the heavens, coalescing into waterfalls and spiritual streams that flowed toward Lingxiao City and the cloud heaven, Yuntian, immortal plain. Normally, this area was shrouded in mist and shimmering veils, invisible from within the city, as if completely isolated from the world. Whoosh! The formation activated, and the carriage proceeded toward the Grand Temple of Eternal Harmony. In the vast plaza, a three-colored flame burned atop the altar. A group of spiritual masters in bizarre attire surrounded the altar. Some beat moza drums, others shook waist bells, and still others held divine staffs. All 18 spiritual power artifacts were activated simultaneously, as they chanted strange incantations. Tai Shiyu said, "They're performing an exorcism, an ancient secret technique." The dungeon where the ghost infants and ghost mothers are imprisoned lies directly beneath the altar. Li Wei asked, "Is it effective?" Tai Shiyu replied tactfully, "It can significantly quiet the ghost mother's wails and the ghost infants' cries." "How many ghost mothers are imprisoned here?" Li Wei asked. "I'll take you there later. We've arrived." The carriage came to a halt. Tai Shiyu, carrying Long Shangsen, dismounted first. Tai Shi Qingxi sat on a rosewood chair just outside the main gate of the Yamen Hall. Behind him, the room was brightly lit, its yellow window paper glowing warmly. Around him stood a dozen eunuch officials and female officials, all with formidable spiritual power, most over 60 years old. Tai Shi Qingxi appeared to be in his 40s, with a gaunt face and a slender build. In reality, he was over 200 years old, his eyes radiating focused energy. After Tai Shiyu and Li Wei bowed, Tai Shiyu immediately reported the results of Tai Shi Bai's interrogation. A wave of shock rippled through the crowd. Tai Shi Qingxi remained composed, offering no unnecessary words. His gaze fell on Long Shangsen. "Fetch a ladle of mother-child spring water and give it to her to drink." At these words, Long Shangsen's expression changed dramatically. Li Wei hadn't expected Lord Qingxi to use such a tactic. Indeed, the old ones were the wisest. Tai Shiyu wanted to plead for him, but before he could speak, he was sternly rebuked. Silence. Tai Shi Qingxi didn't even glance at him, his gaze fixed on Li Wei. The Zhu tribe has been declining for centuries, yet the hidden sect has produced a steady stream of talent. Your disguise technique cultivation is excellent, you've even mastered the legendary bone transformation and spirit exchange. Li Songgu didn't teach you this, did he? He lacks this skill. Li Wei felt Tai Shi Qingxi's gaze like two scorching suns bearing down on him, capable of piercing through every pore. He immediately dispelled his disguise technique, revealing his true appearance, and clasped his hands in a respectful bow. It's just a minor survival skill, nothing more. In the presence of a true expert, it's instantly exposed. As a divine hidden one of the few heavens chosen in the Lingxiao realm, you have every right to be proud. There's no need for such humility. Had I not known your identity beforehand, I wouldn't have kept such close watch, carefully observing you. I might easily have overlooked you. Tai Shi Qingxi continued, Song Yulo has already reported your abilities to the third palace master. The third palace master has ordered us to find you and resolve the ghost infant incident as quickly as possible. Here it comes. Divine Hidden One, let us witness your skills. I, too, am quite curious about the Fusong Divine Tree Spiritual Light and Golden Crow Flame Psychic Power. Two soldiers carried a massive iron cage and placed it before Li Wei. The cage was wrapped in chains and covered with numerous talismans. Tear off all the talismans, Tai Shi Qingxi ordered. The two soldiers exchanged glances and cautiously approached. Li Wei stepped forward, motioning them to retreat. With a flick of his sleeve, he unleashed a wave of spiritual light Lingguang that swept away all the talismans. The ghost mother inside the cage immediately opened her eyes. Her pupils erupted with a brilliant crimson light. Clang! The iron chains shook violently. Boom. She let out a piercing shriek, unleashing a surge of power that sent wind and mist scattering outward. The iron cage and chains shattered into fragments of iron that flew in all directions. The ghost mother's hair was disheveled, her eyes bloodshot. Fangs and sharp claws had grown, her veins were a dark purple, and a chilling miasma of corpse energy and ghost chi erupted simultaneously, forming a black cloud that enveloped the surrounding sky and earth. She was at the Dao Seed realm. Li Wei, being closest to her, was the first to be attacked. He stepped back to dodge her claw marks, then reached out with his left hand to grab her wrist. With his right hand, he pinched his fingers together. The spiritual light Lingguang at his fingertips shone brightly like stars, striking the ghost mother's forehead. J. Rings of spiritual light Lingguang spread from her forehead, completely purifying all the corpse chi and ghost chi. The ghost mother closed her eyes and collapsed at Li Wei's feet. Excellent psychic technique. A single finger to dispel evil. A spiritual master from the Grand Temple of Eternal Harmony exclaimed. After examining the ghost mother's condition, Li Wei rose slowly, his expression heavy. He shook his head. The transformation has gone on for too long. Her flesh is almost completely decayed. This is no longer a living person. Lord Qingxi, I fear I can't help. Give it a try. Treat the dead as if they were alive. Taishi Qingxi knew the ghost mother's condition well, so he didn't hold out much hope. Song Qingli had been saved because her cultivation was high, her transformation had been recent, and her flesh and blood body could still be reversed. Meanwhile, two eunuch officials were about to force-feed Long Shangsen the mother-child spring. Long Shangsen paled with terror, no longer daring to conceal the truth. I'll tell you everything. The women who have recently transformed are those who drank the mother-child spring in the last 2 years, but it's not like that. It's not like that at all. Every woman who drinks the mother-child spring will eventually transform. When that day arrives, they will all become ghost mothers. Their children will all become ghost infants and ghost children. Boom. The revelation was like an earthquake. Not only did Li Wei and the officials freeze in shock, but even Taishi Qingxi's face turned ashen. He swayed unsteadily and collapsed back into his chair, utterly uncomposed. The mother-child spring had been brought to Lingxiao City by Yu Yaozi over 20 years ago, a decade before the outbreak of war. Over those 2 decades, how many women had drunk from the spring? If this were to erupt all at once, the sky would fall. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.